Many say there's nothing to watch on Netflix. That is a complete lie. In this video, I'm going to prove it by sharing 50 incredibly entertaining shows that are absolutely worth your time. I've been a Netflix user for over 10 years, and trust me, if you don't enjoy at least 2 of these, you don't have a soul. This list isn't ranked. Every single show on here is a standout. So sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, and let's dive into the best 50 Netflix shows you need to watch. Here comes number 1, Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is one of the most gripping, masterfully written stories ever put on screen. It follows Walter White, a mild-mannered high school chemistry teacher who, after a terminal cancer diagnosis, turns to cooking meth to secure his family's future. But what starts as a desperate act of love quickly spirals into a dark, thrilling journey into crime, power, and identity. What makes the story so compelling is its slow burn transformation. Watching Walter evolve from a sympathetic everyman into a criminal mastermind is both shocking and completely believable. The show brilliantly explores themes of morality, pride, and consequence, all while delivering edge-of-your-seat tension, unforgettable twists, and complex characters like Jesse Pinkman, whose emotional arc adds even more depth. Breaking Bad isn't just a crime drama, it's a storytelling masterclass in how one decision can change everything. Intense, emotional, and unforgettable, it's a must-watch for anyone who loves powerful, character-driven stories. Number 2, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders. Alright, let's talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, aka the most dramatic cross-continent road trip anime in existence. It's like Indiana Jones, Dragon Ball Z, and a fashion show fell into a blender and someone screamed, "Aura, aura, aura," over the top. And honestly, it works. The story kicks off with Jotaro Kujo, a high schooler so cool he refuses to take his hat off. Mostly because it's fused to his hair, discovering that he has a psychic ghost called a stand that punches things very, very hard. His mom's life is on the line because of an ancient vampire named Dio, who's chilling in Egypt with a new body, a great tan, and absolutely zero chill. So, Jotaro teams up with the most iconic squad of anime bros. Joseph, oh my god, Joestar. Avdol, with the fire magic. Polnareff, who's 50% sword and 100% hair. And Kakyoin, the classy one with emerald laser tentacles. Their mission? Travel from Japan to Egypt and beat the life out of Dio. Why? Because saving your mom is cool, but doing it with intense posing and monologues? That's JoJo. Each episode is a mini boss battle featuring enemy stand users with powers ranging from incredible to what the actual hell. There's a guy with a magnet stand, a baby stand, a car stand, a freaking sun stand. It's like Pokemon, but everyone's in their 30s and willing to kill you over eye contact. And yet, Stardust Crusaders nails it. The story somehow juggles insane fights, ridiculous humor, emotional stakes, and a genuine sense of brotherhood. By the time they reach Egypt, you're not just watching a battle. You're watching a group of idiots turned legends take on a villain that's been haunting the Joestar bloodline for over 100 years. It's ridiculous. It's stylish, it's emotional, it's bizarre, and it's awesome. If you've ever wanted to watch anime that doesn't just embrace the chaos, but struts down the runway in it, Stardust Crusaders is a must-watch. Number 3, Squid Game. Squid Game isn't just a survival thriller. It's a deeply human story wrapped in a brutal, high-stakes competition. At its heart, the show explores desperation, inequality, and what people are willing to risk when pushed to the edge. The story follows Seong Ji-hoon, a down-on-his-luck man drowning in debt, who gets invited to join a mysterious game where 456 players compete for a massive cash prize. The catch? Lose a game, and you lose your life. What makes the story so compelling isn't just the suspense or the shocking violence. It's how it dives into the characters' backstories, motivations, and moral dilemmas. Each game is inspired by childhood playground classics like Red Light, Green Light, Tug of War, and Marbles, but with deadly twists. These familiar games take on a whole new meaning when the stakes are life and death. The tension builds not just from the games themselves, but from watching how alliances form, betrayals unfold, and the psychological toll of the competition. The games also serve as a sharp metaphor for the cruel inequalities of society. Players come from different walks of life, but all are trapped in a system that exploits their desperation. The show forces you to ask difficult questions. What would you do to survive? Who truly deserves to win? And what's the cost of survival when humanity is at stake? Beyond the thrills, Squid Game is a raw look at class struggle, human nature, and the fragility of trust in extreme circumstances. The story is packed with heart, suspense, and moral complexity that keeps you hooked episode after episode. If you want a show that combines edge-of-your-seat action with a meaningful, character-driven story, Squid Game is a must-watch. Number 4, Stranger Things. Stranger Things Season 1 is a masterclass in storytelling, a perfect blend of supernatural mystery, heartfelt emotion, and 1980s nostalgia. The story kicks off in the quiet town of Hawkins, Indiana, where a young boy named Will disappears without a trace. As his friends search for him, they stumble upon a strange girl with a shaved head, psychic powers, and a mysterious past. That girl, 11, becomes the key to unraveling a government cover-up and the terrifying secrets of the Upside Down, a dark, alternate dimension that's leaking into their world. What makes the story so compelling is how it balances the sci-fi horror with real emotional depth. It's not just about monsters, it's about friendship, loyalty, and growing up in a world that suddenly doesn't make sense. Season 1 feels like a love letter to Spielberg and Stephen King, but it still manages to be totally original. It's tight, thrilling, and packed with heart. Everything a great story should be. If you've never seen Stranger Things, Season 1 is the perfect place to start, and you won't want to stop. Number 5, Arcane. Arcane isn't just a great show. It's a world you fall into and don't want to leave. Set in the divided cities of Platover and Zon, the story follows two sisters, Vi and Jinx, as they're torn apart by war, trauma, and the forces that shape their world. But what sets Arcane apart is how deeply the world itself is woven into the history. Platover is sleek, rich, and powered by science, while Zon is gritty, dangerous, and fueled by survival. The tension between them isn't just background. It drives every character's choices. From the political games in Platover's council to the rise of technology like Hex Tech, everything feels alive and interconnected. You're not just watching events. You feel the pressure of this divided society on every relationship, every decision. And yet, at its core, Arcane is about people. Broken, brilliant, hurting people trying to survive a world that's evolving faster than they are. It's bold, emotional, and world-class storytelling. If you want a show that's rich in story and world, Arcane is an absolute masterpiece. Number 6, Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Cyberpunk Edgerunners isn't just a visual spectacle. It's one of the most emotionally powerful stories Netflix has put out in years. The show follows David Martinez, a kid from the slums of Night City who gets dragged into the brutal world of mercenaries, cyberware, and corporate chaos. But what makes this story hit is how personal it feels. It's not just about tech and violence. It's about survival, loss, and how far someone will go to find purpose in a world that's constantly chewing them up. David's rise and fall is tragic, but beautifully told. His relationship with Lucy adds heart to the chaos. And by the end, you're not just watching a cyberpunk tale. You're feeling every beat of a modern tragedy. In just 10 episodes, Edgerunners builds a world, breaks your heart, and leaves a mark that lasts. If you want a story-driven anime that sticks with you, this one's a must-watch. Number 7. Troll Hunters, Tales of Arcadia. So imagine, you're a regular high school kid. You oversleep, forget your homework, and then bam! You find a magical amulet in the bushes and suddenly you're the chosen one. That's Troll Hunters in a nutshell. And yes, it's awesome. Jim Lake Jr. goes from sandwich-making teen to the first ever human troll hunter, protector of not just his town, but a literal underground world filled with trolls, goblins, magical artifacts, and the kind of ancient evil that shows up with dramatic music. The story is epic. We're talking secret identities, cursed armor, emotional gut punches, and battles that make you say, wait, this is a kid's show? But the world is amazing. There's an entire troll city under suburbia, sentient amulets, talking cats that know too much, and a goblin sidekick who's basically comic relief on caffeine. It's like Lord of the Rings had a baby with a Saturday morning cartoon, and that baby is a hero. In short, Troll Hunters is smart, thrilling, and way funnier than it has any right to be. Go watch it. Destiny and a lot of trolls await. Number 8. Blue Eye Samurai. Blue Eye Samurai is a brutal, blood-soaked revenge tale set in an era when Japan sealed itself off from the outside world. A time when being foreign wasn't just frowned upon, it was a death sentence. Born with piercing blue eyes and a white father she never met, Mizu is a walking curse in a world that wants her erased. But she doesn't run. She sharpens her blade. The story follows Mizu as she carves a violent path through feudal Japan, hunting the men responsible for her existence. She hides her identity, disguises her pain, and unleashes hell on anyone who stands in her way. It's not just about vengeance. It's about rage, survival, and reclaiming control in a world that branded her a mistake. Each episode drips with tension and blood. The sword fights are vicious, the emotions raw, and the stakes painfully human. Blue Eye Samurai doesn't hold back. It strikes hard, cuts deep, and leaves a scar. This isn't just a revenge story. It's war, and Mizu is the weapon. Number 9. BoJack Horseman. BoJack Horseman is the story of a washed-up 90s sitcom star, who also happens to be a horse. Yes, a literal horse. And somehow, it's one of the most emotionally devastating, smart, and hilarious shows Netflix has ever made. The story follows BoJack as he stumbles through a haze of fame, self-loathing, and questionable life choices, all while living in a world where animals and humans casually coexist, and nobody ever questions it. One minute, you're laughing at a pun-filled Hollywood satire. The next, you're sitting in silence, questioning your life because a depressed horse said something too real. But that's the genius of the show. It takes an absurd premise, talking animals, a golden retriever named Mr. Peanut Butter running for governor, and uses it to explore addiction, mental health, fame, and forgiveness with gut punch honesty. It's chaotic, weird, sad, brilliant, and somehow hopeful. Even when BoJack's being the absolute worst, you root for him to get better. And isn't that kind of the point? Watch it. Laugh, cry, question reality, repeat. Number 10. Baby Reindeer. Baby Reindeer is a chilling psychological descent into obsession. A story that unfolds in an age where men could be harassed, stalked, and broken. And the world, including police, looked the other way. Why? Because he's a man, and men are supposed to handle it. Based on true events, the story follows Donnie, a struggling comedian who offers a moment of kindness to a lonely woman. That single act snowballs into a terrifying ordeal, a relentless, escalating campaign of stalking, manipulation, and emotional abuse. And every time he reaches out for help, he's dismissed, laughed off, told to tough it out. The horror of baby reindeer isn't just the obsession. It's the silence, the isolation, the way society turns its back on male victims. This is a slow, unnerving burn that forces you to sit with the discomfort, not just of what's happening, but how easily it's ignored. Disturbing, raw, and painfully human. Baby Reindeer is not just a show. It's a warning. And it's absolutely not for kids. Number 11. Dan to Dan. Dan to Dan is what happens when you throw aliens, ghosts, psychic battles, high school crushes, and absurd comedy into a blender, then hit explode. The story kicks off when two teens, Momo, a tough girl with zero chill, and Okaran, a shy nerd with too much UFO knowledge, accidentally unleash chaos while trying to prove their supernatural beliefs are real. Spoiler, they're both right, and it's insane. One moment, they're getting abducted by pervy aliens with laser beams. The next, they're fighting cursed ghosts that scream like death metal singers. Oh, and did I mention there's a haunted grandma who throws down like a martial arts legend? What makes Dan to Dan awesome is how it mixes laugh-out-loud humor with jaw-dropping action. It's full of ridiculous situations, heart-pounding fights, and surprisingly sweet character moments, all with animation so slick, it looks like your eyeballs just leveled up. It's wild, weird, and completely unhinged, and that's what makes it great. If you like your supernatural stories with flying kicks, psychic lasers, and a lot of yelling, Dan to Dan is your next obsession. Number 12. Castlevania. Castlevania is a dark, bloody, and beautifully told tale of vengeance, monsters, and unlikely heroes. Set in a gothic world ravaged by fear and superstition, the story begins when Dracula's human wife is falsely accused of witchcraft and burned at the stake. In response, Dracula doesn't just mourn, he declares war on all of humanity. And honestly, you kinda get it. Enter Trevor Belmont, a disgraced monster hunter with a drinking problem and a heart of gold, who gets dragged into the fight against Dracula's monstrous army. Alongside him are Sypha, a powerful speaker mage with a fiery spirit, and Alucard, Dracula's half-human son, torn between love and loyalty. The story is tight, emotional, and layered with themes of grief, faith, and justice. It's not just about killing vampires. It's about confronting the darkness inside us and deciding who we want to be in a world falling apart. With sharp dialogue, a gripping pace, and some seriously epic fights, Castlevania is more than just a video game adaptation. It's a gothic American animation done right. Number 13. Money Heist. Money Heist is chaos in red jumpsuits. A high-stakes war zone disguised as a robbery. It all starts with the professor, a criminal genius who crafts the perfect plan. Take over the Royal Mint of Spain, print billions in untraceable cash, and vanish. Clean, controlled, no casualties. At least, that was the plan. But the second the team storms in, guns blazing and hostages screaming, everything starts spiraling. As the police surround the building and the pressure builds, the robbers realize they're trapped, locked inside with terrified hostages, fraying nerves, and not enough time. Every second becomes a battle. Bullets fly, blood spills, loyalties crack, and escape? It feels further away with every breath. What makes the story hit hard is the intensity. You're not just watching a heist, you're stuck inside with them. No exit, no forgiveness, just survival. Every episode feels like a ticking bomb. Money Heist is violent, brilliant, and full of heart-pounding moments. It's not about stealing money. It's about stealing time, fighting back, and surviving the storm you started. Number 14. Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders is a razor-sharp crime drama that grabs you by the collar from the first scene and never lets go. Set in the gritty aftermath of World War I, the story follows Tommy Shelby, a war hero turned ruthless gang leader, as he builds an empire in the smoke-filled streets of Birmingham. What makes the story so addictive is how it blends raw violence with Shakespearean ambition. Tommy isn't just running illegal betting rings. He's outsmarting rivals, corrupting politicians, and waging psychological warfare against anyone who stands in his way. It's chess with bullets. Each season raises the stakes. From street-level turf wars to national power struggles, the world is brutal, the politics are dirty, and every victory comes with a price. But it's not all blood and grit. Underneath the violence is a story about family, trauma, and a man trying to control a world that's constantly trying to break him. Stylish, intense, and brilliantly written, Peaky Blinders is gangster storytelling at its finest. Number 15. Inside Job. Inside Job is what happens when you take every conspiracy theory on the internet, smash them into one secret government agency, and then drop a brilliant, socially awkward scientist right in the middle of it. Meet Regan Ridley. She's a genius. She's got control issues. And she's basically running the world behind the scenes, when her coworkers aren't setting it on fire. The story follows Regan as she tries to climb the ranks of Cognito Inc., a shadowy organization that controls everything from weather machines to the Illuminati chat group. But here's the twist. Her biggest obstacle isn't the lizard people. It's her emotionally stunted, chaos-loving ex-CEO father who treats world domination like a hobby and parenting like a prank. Their father-daughter dynamic is hilariously dysfunctional. Think Succession, but with more mind control and less therapy. As Regan tries to fix the world and herself, she's constantly one emotional breakdown away from turning the moon into a Death Star. And honestly, we'd watch that too. Inside Job is smart, sharp, and ridiculous in the best way. If you've ever wondered who's really in charge of the world, the answer is probably Regan, unless her dad gets there first.
Number 16. The 7 Deadly Sins anime. Imagine this, a kingdom in chaos, only knights gone rogue, and their only hope, a group of outlaws so powerful they were literally labeled sins. Season 1 kicks off when Princess Elizabeth sets out to find these legendary warriors to save her kingdom. First up, Meliodas, a guy who looks like a 12-year-old but fights like a nuclear weapon in a Terran owner's apron, and he's got a talking pig sidekick named Hawk who cleans up bar for a living. Yes, really. Each sin has their own juicy backstory, ridiculous powers, and at least one dramatic flashback that'll make you say, "Okay anime, calm down." There's magic monsters, giant hammers, a whole lot of yelling, and more shirtless flexing than a gym Instagram reel. Actually, it feels just like watching the original Dragon Ball series back in 986. But under the action allows, there's a great story about loyalty, redemption, and fighting for what's right, even when the world thinks you're the villain. It's over the top, it's heartfelt, and it's anime chaos at its finest. If you like epic battles, lovable weirdos, and pigs with attitude, the 7 Deadly Sins is calling your name. Number 17. Making a Murderer. Making a Murderer is not just a documentary, it's a real-life legal thriller that puts you in and doesn't let go. Over the course of 2 gripping seasons, it tells the story of Stephen Avery, a man who spent 18 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit, only to be accused of something far worse after his release. The story is intense, frustrating, and full of twists that feel too wild to be real. But they are! As the documentary unravels, it reveals a complex web of small-town politics, questionable law enforcement, and a justice system that sometimes feels anything but just. The inclusion of Avery's nephew, Brandon Dassey, adds another heartbreaking layer, especially as you watch his story unfold under immense pressure. What makes Making a Murderer so powerful is how deeply it immerses you in the lives of those involved. It's not just about guilt or innocence. It's about truth, power, and how the system can fail the very people it's meant to protect. If you're into true crime with real emotional weight, This is a must watch. Number 18. Love, Death and Robots. Love, Death and Robots isn't just a show, it's a wild, genre-bending rollercoaster of storytelling. Each episode is its own standalone mini-movie, diving into worlds where the rules are constantly changing. From dystopian futures, alien invasion to sentient yogurt, and robot apocalypse tours. Yes, really! What makes the story structure so compelling is its anthology format. In just 5 to 15 minutes, each episode delivers a complete narrative. Sometimes emotional, sometimes horrifying, and often deeply thought-provoking. You never know what you are going to get next. A sci-fi tragedy, a bloody revenge tale, or a philosophical mind-bender about humanity and consciousness. The show fearlessly blends science fiction, horror, comedy, and animation styles, creating a rich buffet of stories that explore the boundaries of love, death, and yes, robots. It's bold, unpredictable, and endlessly rewatchable. If you want storytelling that's fast, furious, and full of imagination, Love, Death, and Robots is a must-watch. Number 19. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is like if your favorite video game, comic book, and anime had a chaotic baby, and then that baby starts breakdancing through time and space. This isn't just a reboot of the classic story, it's a multiverse sucker punch of surprises. The story kicks off the usual way. Scott's a lovable slagger with a band, a bad attention span, and a crush on the ultra cool Ramona flowers. But just when you're thinking you're settling in for another round of evil X beatdowns, the show pulls the rug out and says, plot twist! And then another, and then another. It's like the story is self-aware and completely unhinged in the best way. Hilarious, full of visual gags, meta jokes, and action scenes that feel like you're watching your brain glitch on purpose. Whether you're a fan of the original comic or brand new to the chaos, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is wild, weird, and way too much fun. The only negative is that the pacing can get slow sometimes, but you don't care because you are excited for the next ridiculous action scene. Number 20. Beastars. Beastars delivers a bold and emotional rich story set in a world where anthropomorphic animals live a tense society divided between herbivores and carnivores. At the heart of it is Legushi, a quiet grey wolf struggling to understand his feelings, especially after he falls for Hao, a small fearless rabbit. The unlikely connection becomes the emotional core of a story that explores identity, repression, instinct, and societal expectations. When a student is mysteriously murdered, the school is thrown into chaos, and the story takes on the tone of a noir thriller mixed with teen drama. What really makes Beastars stand out is its depth. This isn't just about animals navigating school life. It's about the mask we wear, the parts of ourselves we hide, and the battle between what we want and what we think we are supposed to be. If you're into character-driven stories with emotional weight, moral complexity, and a unique visual style, Beastars is absolutely worth your time. Number 21. Baki. Baki is pure adrenaline-pumping chaos ripped around a surprisingly engaging story of strength, legacy, and obsession. At its core, it follows Baki Hanma, a teenage martial arts prodigy trained since birth to one day surpass his father, Yuri Hanma, the most terrifying man alive. And how does Baki plan to do that? By fighting constantly, brutally, and often against men who look like they have escaped from a superhuman science experiment. The story kicks off when 5 death row inmates, all insanely dangerous and eager to feel defeat and escape from prisons around the world, and come to Japan just to fight Baki. That's right, the plot is literally, what if the world's most violent criminals all showed up to challenge one teenager in bare knuckle combat? And it works. While the show leans heavily into its over-the-top fights, the story subtly explores ideas of discipline, fear, legacy, and even strange romance between muscle-covered weirdos. It's absurd, intense, and completely aware of how wild it is. And that's what makes Baki so entertaining. If you want a story that throws logic out of the window and replaces it with fists, this one is for you. Number 22. Delicious in Dungeon. Dinner in Dungeon is what happens when a classic dungeon crawling fantasy adventure takes a sharp left turn into a cooking show, and somehow it works perfectly. The story follows Leos and his ragtag party of adventurers, who after failing to save his sister from a dragon, decide to dive back into the deadly dungeon, but this time without money, supplies, or even snacks. So what's the solution? Eat the monsters, of course. From Roasted slims to basilic hot pot, every episode is a mix of epic battles, hilarious banter, and mouth-watering monster cuisine. While it sounds goofy, and it is, there's a surprisingly heartfelt core. The group isn't just slicing and sauteing, they are bonding, growing, and slowly unraveling the secrets of the dungeon and their own pasts. It's equal parts Dungeons and Dragons, Food Network, and pure chaos. If you like fantasy, friendship, and frying pan action, Dinner in Dungeon is the weirdly wholesome comedy adventure you didn't know you needed. Just maybe don't watch it hungry. Number 23. Arrested Development. If you have ever feel like your family is a complete disaster, Arrested Development is here to make you feel better. The story follows Michael Blue, the only semi-sane person in a family full of walking disasters, who is forced to take over the family business after his father gets arrested for shady finances. Spoiler, things do not go smoothly. What makes this show brilliant is the way it turns chaos into comedy gold. Every Blood family member is a lovable trainwreck. There's Gob, the magician who is terrible at magic. Tobias, the world's most oblivious therapist turned actor. Lucille, the vodka-fueled queen of passive aggression. And Buster, who, well, let's just say he has mommy issues and one hand. The story is packed with running gags, absurd plot twists, and some of the sharpest writing on TV. It's like a sitcom had a baby with a Rubik's Cube. Totally confusing, but weirdly satisfying. If you like a comedy smart, fast, and full of dysfunctional millionaires who should not be in charge of anything, Arrested Development is a must-watch. Just don't ask what I never knew this. Number 24. Wakfu. If you think the best animated adventures only come from Japan, Wakfu is here to prove you very, very wrong. Because this jaw-droppingly beautiful fantasy series is made in France and it looks incredible. The animation is fluid, expressive, and stylish enough to make anime fans double take and say, wait, this isn't from Japan. The story follows Yugo, a young boy with portal powers and a mysterious past who sets out on a journey to find his real family and maybe save the world while he's at it. Along the way, he's joined by a chaotic but lovable crew. There's Pasadel, the hot-headed warrior with more muscles than brains, Evangeline, the calm and deadly archer, and the only sane one most of the time, Amalia, a sassy plant princess with royal drama and rule, an old greedy guy who'd fight a dragon for a single coin and probably win. Their journey takes them through magical lands, epic battles, and time-bending heartbreak. But at its core, Wakfu is a story about friendship, destiny, and growing up in a wild, weird world. It's funny, emotional, action-packed, and yes, it's absolutely gorgeous. So go watch Wakfu. It's fantasy done right, and French, believe it or not. Number 25. Pluto. Pluto isn't just an anime. It's a slow-burning, cerebral sci-fi thriller that grabs your heart and your brain at the same time. Based on a reimagining of Osamu Tezuka's Astro Boy manga. This story takes place in a future where humans and robots coexist uneasily. The plot follows Gesicht, a robot detective investigating a string of mysterious murders. But the twist, the victims are some of the most powerful robots on Earth, and the killer might not be human. As Gesicht dives deeper, the story unravels into a layered mystery filled with political tension, ethical questions, and emotional depth you don't normally expect from a metal-faced machines. What makes Pluto truly special is how human it feels. It asks big questions. What is grief to a robot? Can machines feel guilt, love, or fear? And then answers them with quite devastating beauty. Every character matters. Every death hits hard, and by the end, you are not just watching a whodunit. You are questioning the nature of consciousness and war itself. Pluto is haunting, powerful, and unforgettable. A must-watch for anyone who loves intelligent, character-driven storytelling. Number 26. Dota. Dragon's Blood. Dota, Dragon's Blood isn't just another game to TV adaptation. It's a full-blown high fantasy epic that punches away about expectations. The story centers on Devion, a seasoned dragon knight who gets unwillingly bonded with the soul of an ancient, powerful dragon. Yeah, he literally becomes what he used to hunt. But that's just the beginning. As Devion struggles to control his inner beast, he gets swept into a conflict way bigger than himself, involving varying gods, stolen lotuses, demonic forces, and political backstabbing that will make Game of Thrones blush. And then there's Mirana, a moon princess torn between duty and doubt, and Invoker, the most mysterious emotional damage mage with the patient of a ticking time bomb. Each episode peels back more layers of this dark, immersive world where every choice has weight and every alliance feels like it's held together by a thread. The storytelling is tight, intense, and full of tragic beauty. If you want grown-up animation with real emotional stakes and dragons that don't sparkle, Dota Dragon's Blood is the fantasy fix you didn't know you needed. Number 27. Devil May Cry 2025. The Devil May Cry Netflix series delivers a surprisingly tight and compelling story that blends fast-paced action with a deeper dive into Dante's world. At its core, it follows Dante, a half-demon, half-human demon hunter, taking on contracts to slay monsters, all while uncovering a darker conspiracy tied to his mysterious past and family. The show does a great job fleshing out the lore, especially the tragic history between Dante, his brother Virgil, and their demonic lineage. It balances personal stakes with apocalyptic threats, giving the plot real weight without losing the serious signature swagger. Fans of the games will love the faithful callbacks, while newcomers get a clear, stylish introduction to this demon-filled universe. It's not just style, it's story with soul. Number 28. One Piece live action. This show is very faithful to the manga, but it adds some new things, especially with Kobe and Helm Popo. And you can clearly see the creator is fan of the manga. This show has an awesome world and great fight scenes, and I especially like that it's more adult themed than the anime show is. The creator has announced a season 2, so I'm extremely excited. This show is great for One Piece fans and people who love pirate stories. Number 29. Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days is an absolute gem that flips the typical action manga formula on its head. The story follows Taro Sakamoto, once the most feared assassin in the world, now a chubby, lovable convenience store owner living a peaceful life with his family. But when his past comes knocking, Sakamoto is forced back into action, while still trying to keep his promise to never kill again. What makes the story shine is how it blends intense, creative action with genuine humor and heart. Each chapter brings new assassins, clever fight choreography and hilarious moments, all while exploring themes of redemption, loyalty and what it means to protect the life we have built. It's fast-paced, smart and unexpectedly wholesome. If you love badass characters with a slice of life twist, Sakamoto Days is a must-watch. Number 30. The Movies That Made Us. The Movies That Made Us is a nostalgic, fun and surprisingly insightful documentary series that dives deep into the behind-the-scenes stories of some of the most iconic films of all time. Each episode explores the wild, sometimes chaotic journey of how these classics like Die Hard, Ghostbusters, Home Alone and Jurassic Park were made. The storytelling is fast-paced and energetic, with perfect mix of interviews, archival footage and cheeky narration that keeps things light but informative. What makes it special is how it uncovers the creative risks, production nightmares and unexpected moments that turn these movies into cultural milestones. It's not just about how the films were made, it's about why they still matter. Whether you're a casual viewer or a hardcore movie buff, this show is pure entertainment with heart and history. Number 31. American Vandal. American Vandal is one of the smartest and funniest mockumentary series out there. On the surface, it parodies true crime documentaries like Making a Murder, but underneath the humor is a surprisingly gripping and emotional story. Season 1 follows two high school filmmakers investigating who spray painted, a bunch of inappropriate images on teachers' cars. What starts as a joke turns into a genuinely compelling mystery filled with twists, character drama, and sharp commentary on high school life, social media and truth itself. The storytelling is incredibly well crafted. You will laugh at the absurdity, but you will also find yourself seriously invested in finding out who did it. American Vandal balances satire and sincerity in a way that few shows manage. It's hilarious, clever and a way deeper than it has any right to be. Number 32. Taking Bloodline. Taking Bloodline delivers a tight, emotional and driven story backed by slick animation and fan-favorite characters. The focus on Jin Kazama, a determined teen thrown into chaos after a devastating encounter with the monstrous ogre. Seeking revenge, Jin trains under his cold and calculating grandfather Heihachi Mishima, whose dark love methods push Jin to his limits. Along the way, we see familiar faces like King, Orang, Leroy and Paul, each brought to life with faithful designs and personality. The fight scenes are a highlight, fluid, hard-hitting and stylized to feel like you're watching the game in motion. Beyond the action, the series explores Jin's struggle with his dark bloodline, setting up emotional stakes that feel grounded and compelling. Whether you're a Tekken veteran, or totally new, Bloodline offers a fast-paced, character-driven ride with serious punch. Number 33, Mr. McMahon. If you're even remotely interested in wrestling or live personalities, Mr. McMahon on Netflix is a must-watch. This documentary series dives deep into the life and legacy of Vince McMahon, the man who transformed professional wrestling from a niche regional act into a global entertainment powerhouse. What makes this show so compelling? It is balanced yet engaging storytelling. It highlights Mr. McMahon's ruthless business acumen, his bold, creative vision, and his uncanny ability to stay ahead of the curve, with candid interviews from wrestling legends, archival footage, and behind-the-scenes stories. The show pulls you into the fast-paced, often chaotic world of world wrestling entertainment. It doesn't shy away from controversy, but it expresses it with context, allowing viewers to see both the brilliance and the flaws of a man who redefined an industry. Whether you're a die-hard wrestling fan or just love a good character study, Mr. McMahon is absolutely worth your time. Number 34, Time Patrol Bond. If you're into time travel adventures with heart and history, TP Bond on Netflix is a hidden gem you shouldn't miss. Based on the classic manga by Fujiko Fujito, the creators of Doraemon, this anime follows Bonamahira, an ordinary high schooler whose life takes an extraordinary turn when he becomes part of a time-traveling team tasked with saving lives across history. What sets TP Bond apart is its blend of whimsical sci-fi and meaningful storytelling. Each episode transports you to different eras, from ancient civilizations to pivotal moments in history where Bond and his team work to prevent tragedies, offering both entertainment and educational insights. With its engaging narrative and nostalgic animation style reminiscent of Doraemon, TP Bond delivers a story that's both fun and thought-provoking. Stream now on Netflix and embark on a time-traveling journey that's as enlightening as it's entertaining. Number 35, Terminator Zero. Terminator Zero breathes new life into the franchise with a riveting narrative that honors its roots while boldly venturing into fresh territory. Set in 1997 Japan, the series introduced Malcolm Lee, a visionary scientist developing an AI named Kokoro to encounter Skynet's impending threat. The plot thickens as Echo, a resistance fighter from a dystopian future 2022, travels back in time to protect Malcolm and his family from a relentless T-800 assassin. This storyline masterfully intervenes high-stakes action with profound philosophical questions about humanity, fate, and the ethical boundaries of artificial intelligence. By shifting the setting to Japan, the series offers a unique cultural lens, enriching the narrative with historical and societal nuances. Terminator Zero doesn't just revisit familiar themes, delivering storylines that both thrilling and thought-provoking, making it a standout installment in the Terminator saga. Number 36, The End of the World. The End of the World is a brilliantly twisted coming-of-age tale that defies expectations at every turn. The story follows James, a 17-year-old who believes he is a psychopath, and Alyssa, a rebellious classmate seeking escape from her troubled home life. What begins as James' plan to kill Alyssa evolves into a darkly comedic and surprisingly tender road trip across England, as they navigate a series of misadventures, including crime scenes and dead bodies. And emotional revelations, their relationship depends, challenging their perceptions of love and identity. The series masterfully balances black humor with poignant moments, offering a unique exploration of adolescent angst and connection. It's a compelling narrative that transforms a morbid premise into a heartfelt journey of self-discovery. Number 37, My Demon. My Demon is a captivating anime series that blends post-apocalyptic adventure with heartfelt storytelling. Set in a dystopian Japan where a nuclear explosion has caused Earth to briefly overlap with hell, the story follows young Kento and his demon companion, Anna, as they embark on a perilous journey to save Kento's mother. Their bond challenges societal prejudice against demons, highlighting themes of empathy and acceptance. The series masterfully balances thrilling action with emotional depth, offering a narrative that is both engaging and thought-provoking. With its imaginative world-building and endearing characters, My Demon delivers a unique and memorable viewing experience. Number 38, Don't Fuck With Cats, Hunting an Internet Killer. Don't Fuck With Cats, Hunting an Internet Killer is a gripping true crime docu-series that unfolds like a digital age thriller. The narrative centers on a group of amateur internet sleuths who, after discovering a disturbing video of animal cruelty, embark on a relentless online manhunt to identify and apprehend the perpetrator. Their meticulous investigation leads them to Luca Magnotta, a man whose quest for notoriety escalates from harming animals to committing a shocking murder which he also records and shares online. The series delves deep into the psychology of both the killer and the digital detectives, highlighting how online communities can mobilize for justice. It's a chilling reminder of the dark corners of the internet and the power of collective vigilance. With its intense pacing and compelling storytelling, this 3-part series is a must-watch for true crime enthusiasts. Number 39, Lost Ollie. Lost Ollie is a poignant and visual stunning Netflix miniseries that intervenes adventure with deep emotional resonance. The story follows Ollie, a patchwork stuffed bunny, voiced by Jonathan Groff, who awakens in a thrift store with fragmented memories and an unwavering determination to reunite with his best friend Billy. As Ollie embarks on his journey, he is joined by Zozo, a once charming clown toy, and Rosie, a fierce teddy bear, forming a trio that navigates both physical obstacles and emotional trials. The narrative masterfully balances whimsical elements with mature themes, exploring loss, love, and the enduring bonds of friendship through its blend of live action and animation. Lost Ollie delivers a heartfelt tale that resonates with audiences of all ages, reminding us of the profound connections we share with those we hold dear. But be aware, some of the scenes can be pretty brutal, so I wouldn't say it's completely made for kids. But if you like Toy Story, this is exactly what you are looking for. Number 40, The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. If you are craving an epic fantasy tale with depth and heart, The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance is a must-watch. Set in the richly imagined world of Ra, this prequel to the 1982 classic follows 3 Gelfling heroes, Ryan, Bree, and Dennis. They uncover the dark secrets of the Skeksis and ignite a rebellion to save their world. The series masterfully weaves themes of courage, unity, and resistance against tyranny, offering a narrative that's both timeless and timely, with stunning visuals and a compelling plot. Age of Resistance doesn't just expand the lore of the original film, it enriches it, delivering a story that's as emotionally resonant as it's visually breathtaking. Number 41, B&A. Brand New Animal delivers a fast-paced, emotionally engaging story that's both thrilling and thought-provoking, set in a vibrant world where beastmen, humanoid animals, live in a segregated society. The show follows Mikuru, a human who mysteriously transforms into a tanuki and seeks refuge in Anima City, as she uncovers the truth behind her transformation. The narrative evolves into a deeper exploration of identity, discrimination, and acceptance. The plot balances action with meaningful character development, especially the growing bond between Mikuru and the stoic wolf Shiro. Every episode reveals new twists and layers to the world's politics and scientific intrigue, keeping viewers hooked. It's a unique blend of social commentary and supernatural mystery, wrapped in a compelling story that never slows down. Brand New Animal managed to be both entertaining and insightful, making it stand out among Netflix anime offerings. Number 42, Record of Ragnarok. Record of Ragnarok delivers an epic high-stakes narrative that pits humanity against the gods in battle for survival, and it's as gripping as it sounds. The story kicks off when the gods decide to wipe out humanity. But the Valkyrie Boni intervenes, invoking the excellent Ragnarok tournament, 13 humans versus 13 gods in one-on-one battles to decide mankind's fate. What makes the story so compelling is how it brings legendary historical and mythological figures like Lubu, Adam, and Zeus to life with rich backstories and emotional stakes. Each fight isn't just about power, but about idols, pride, and the spirit of humanity. The storytelling blends intense action with touching moments and surprising depth, showing why these characters fight and what they represent. It's a mythological showdown that's as thoughtful as it's explosive, making Record of Ragnarok a must-watch for fans of dramatic, story-driven anime. Number 43, Green Eggs and Ham. Green Eggs and Ham takes Dr. Seuss' classic book and turns it into a surprisingly rich, adventurous, and heartwarming story. What started as a simple tale of trying new food becomes a buddy road trip full of twists, laughs, and emotional moments. Sam I Am and the grumpy guy I Am are total opposites when they are thrown together on a wild journey to return a rare animal called a chigurh. Their clashing personalities slowly turn into a genuine friendship. Along the way, they get mixed up with secret agents, wacky interventions, and a few unexpected life lessons. Story balance silly humor with smart writing and real character growth, making it just as entertaining for adults as it is for kids. Green Eggs and Ham isn't just about food, it's about trust, change, and learning to open your heart. A delightful, colorful ride from start to finish. Number 44, Kid Cosmic. Kid Cosmic is like if a Marvel movie crash landed in a dusty diner and got reimagined by a 9-year-old with crayons, and it's glorious. The story follows Kid, a comic book obsessed kid who finds cosmic stones that grant real superpowers. Naturally, he formed a superhero team that includes his grandpa on a mobility scooter, a sarcastic Ray Trace, a toddler with giant powers, and a cat who can see the future. Yes, it's chaotic, and yes, it's brilliant. The show hilariously flips the superhero genre on its head, like a lo-fi indie parody of Marvel's epic scale. But underneath the laughs and laser beams, there's a heartwarming story about teamwork, growing up and learning that being a hero isn't about powers, it's about character. With smart writing and retro comic style animation, Kid Cosmic is both a love letter to and a clever spoof of classic superhero tales. Funny, fast and surprisingly deep, it's a must watch. Number 45, Pokemon Concierge. Pokemon Concierge is a charming and peaceful detour from the usual Pokemon action, and it's exactly what makes the story so refreshing. Set a luxurious Pokemon resort, the series follows Haru, a kind but uncertain young woman who takes a job as a concierge, helping Pokemon guests relax and feel at home. Unlike the high energy battles we are used to, this story is all about connection, healing and self-discovery. As Haru bonds with each Pokemon, from a muddy Psyduck to a shy Dragonite, she slowly learns how to believe in herself and find her place in the world. Every episode is a gentle, heartfelt slice of life moment filled with warmth, humor and beautifully crafted stop-motion animation. It's like Pokemon meets Studio Ghibli on vacation. If you're looking for a cozy, feel-good story with heart and soul, Pokemon Concierge is an absolute delight. Number 46, Oni, Thunder God's Tale. Oni, Thunder God's Tale is a magical and fun adventure that tells the story of a brave girl named Onari, who wants to be a hero just like her dad. She lives in a world full of spirits and gods where everyone is getting ready to protect their home from scary creatures called Oni. But as Onari trains and learns more about the world, she starts to wonder, are the Oni really as bad as everyone says? The story is full of excitement, surprises and heart. It teaches kids that being strong isn't just about fighting. It's about being kind, asking questions and staying up for what's right. The animation is amazing too, with bright colors and characters that feel alive. Only Thunder God's Tale is perfect for kids who love fantasy, adventure and stories that make you feel brave inside. Number 47, Shaman King 2021. Shaman King 2021 brings a fresh, action-packed take on the classic anime with a story that's both thrilling and deeply spiritual. It follows Yo Asakura, a laid-back teen with the unique ability to see and team up with ghosts. His goal? To become the Shaman King by winning the legendary Shaman fight, a tournament where shamans from around the world battle using spirit as their partners. What makes the story so compelling is how it mixes intense battles with powerful themes like friendship, balance and staying true to yourself. Yo isn't your typical action hero, he fights not to dominate, but to bring peace between the living and the spirit world. As the story unfolds, we meet a diverse cast of characters, each with their own motives and pasts, making the journey feel rich and emotionally layered. Shaman King is more than just cool fights. It's about heart, harmony and becoming an adult. Number 48, Alice in Borderland. Alice in Borderland drops you straight into a nightmare and you won't want to wake up. This Japanese fella takes the familiar idea of a deadly game and cranks it up to 11. It follows Arisu, a listless gamer, and his friends who suddenly find themselves in a deserted Tokyo, forced to compete in high-stakes games where losing means dying. And these aren't just physical challenges. Each game tests your intelligence, its loyalty, and sometimes your sanity. The story is gripping from the very first episode. What starts as a mystery survival game evolves into something much deeper, an emotional exploration of human nature, friendship, and the price of survival. Every character has something to lose, and the more you learn about the past, the more heartbreaking the stakes become. It's like Squid Game meets Inception, but with more heart, more twist, and way more existential dread. If you're into tight storytelling, clever mind games, and shocking plot turns that make you yell at the screen, Alice in Borderland is your next bench. Number 49, Centaur World. Centaur World is what happens when an epic war drama takes a wrong turn and lands smack in the middle of a glitter explosion. The story follows a serious, battle-hardened warhorse. Yes, a horse who gets magically transported to a bizarre land full of singing, dancing centaurs who are part animal, part human, part total chaos. At first, she is trying to get back to her rider and the serious world of war and destiny. But along the way, she is forced to team up with a hilariously weird band of centaurs who are more into musicals and friendships than strategy and sports. What unfolds is a surprisingly deep story about trauma, trust and transformation. Wrapped in sparkles, show tunes and absurd humor. Centaur World is like Lord of the Rings got rewritten by a theater kid on a sugar high, and somehow it works. It's silly, it's heartfelt, and it's one of the most delightful unhinged stories ever created. Number 50. The Hidden Lives of Pets. The Hidden Lives of Pets is a delightful and enlightening documentary series that unveils the extraordinary abilities and behaviors of our beloved animal companions. Narrated by Hugh Bonneville, the series takes viewers on a global journey, showcasing pets that defy expectations with their intelligence, communication skills, athleticism, and sensory perceptions. Each of the 4 episodes delves into a specific theme: intelligence, communication, super senses, and athletes. Highlight remarkable stories such as a dog that communicates using over 19 buttons, a parrot with an impressive repertoire of dance moves, and even rats trained to drive miniature cars. These narratives not only entertain but also provide insight into the deep bonds between humans and their pets, emphasizing how enriched environments and strong relationships can unlock hidden potentials in animals. Beyond the captivating anecdotes, the series integrates scientific research to explain these phenomena, making it both informative and accessible to audiences of all ages. Whether you're a pet owner or simply an animal enthusiast, The Hidden Lives of Pets offers a heartwarming and fascinating glimpse into the capabilities of the animals we thought we knew. Of course, there are still more great shows on Netflix, so here are some honorable mentions I also think you should check out. And there you have it! 50 of the best, most binge-worthy Netflix shows that are totally worth your time. Whether you're into action, drama, comedy or mind-bending thrillers, there's something here for everyone. If you discover a new favorite or just enjoy the ride, remember to subscribe and hit that like button to show some love. Got a show you think should have been on the list? Drop it in the comments below. I'm always down for a good watch. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you next time right here on Omega's Movie.